when the narcissist finds a new person. Yes, that is what we're going to be talking about in this video. We're going to be talking about when they find a new target, someone who they can manipulate, love bomb, deceive, trick, lie to, future fake, do all of these crazy things to. Yes, that's what we're going to be talking about in this one. And if you like the idea of this topic, you can show your support down below by giving this video a thumbs up. It helps to support our community. And now we're going to get into the video. So yeah, and they target this new person, this new supply, this person who they're looking to serve them. Just gonna move over here because this guy sweeping the broom just seems to follow me everywhere. As you know, I don't like any disruption in my videos. But yeah, when they find a new target, a new supply, so they've just gone and left you behind. In their minds, you were the piece of shit, you were the garbage, you were nothing, you couldn't fulfill them for whatever reason. And of course they always blame you in the end, but the reality is that they have these insatiable desires that can never be fulfilled. And yes, that is the truth, but of course they're never going to self-reflect and realize that, because they're very arrogant and delusional. They think they're the best thing since sliced bread, even though they never put in the work, they never did anything to earn it. They just automatically think that yes, you're the garbage and they are perfect. But of course that's only what they think on the surface. Deep down below, they know that they are unlovable. They do not deserve to be loved, because of course they were taught that a long time ago in their childhood by their parents or caregivers or whoever else was around them. They were already taught from day one, that they will never be good enough for anyone. So they've already accepted that as their reality, and that is why all they can do is love bomb you, devalue you, and then discard you, and then move on to someone else. And yes, when they love bombed you, you will remember that they manipulated you, they sold you this dream. They made you believe that they were about all of these things, and they lied to you, they future faked, but really they weren't about nothing, and you were just waiting around, waiting for something to happen, but it never did. And when you start to catch on, that's when they began to devalue you. They began to insult. And it's like this back and forth, this tug of war. They're constantly pulling and you're pulling back. And the message is, you're not good enough, you don't deserve me. And then you're just trying your best. You're just trying to become the best person you can until you invest everything you have into this person, because you're trying to send a message to them that yes, I think maybe I am good enough, I can help you, I can save you. But they're not going to let you have that, because although they do want you to save them, they're not actually going to come out and say that. Instead, they're going to engage in manipulative covert tactics designed to mislead you. That's all that they're going to do. Just drinking this tea. It's chewy as well. But yes, So they love bomb you. They pull you into this fantasy that they created inside their minds, and this fantasy comes from their childhood when they had no one to depend on. They were looking for someone to save them, and then they project this fantasy onto you. Suddenly you're this perfect person who was meant to come in and rescue them from all of their problems, all of their trauma, which of course it is an impossible expectation. We can only save ourselves. But narcissists don't want to accept that. They want to put this role onto someone else to come along and do that. So yeah, and what you may not realize is that when they are love bombing you in the beginning, what they're actually doing is they are also using this fantasy to hurt someone else. And you may not even realize that, but there's always more than just one person involved. It's never just you. They are never exclusive to you. They've always got other people on the side, exes. They're always talking to other people on their phone. It's never just you. They've got their eyes on other people as well. So they're never yours. They never belong to you. They're just never yours to begin with. And many of you don't realize that, but that is the truth. They're always entertaining other possible prospects or endeavors. Even if it's just their exes, they still got them on the side. They're watching you too. And of course, they're very hurt by what they're seeing. If they were good exes, maybe not narcissists. But yes, when they discard you, and then they move on and they find someone else. And I know what you're seeing, they're posting these pictures on social media. It looks like they're so much happier without you. They're living their best lives. And yeah, it looks like they're having a lot of fun. You see them smiling and laughing. Maybe they're holding hands. Maybe they're kissing. They're going out on dates, going to restaurants. They never went, you were there. They never went there with you. Maybe they're walking on the beach. They look like they're having a great time without you. And it looks like they're not even thinking about you. Like you don't even cross their mind. They don't even care about you. You don't even matter to them anymore. Like they just moved on, like you never existed. Like you're just this piece of shit, this piece of garbage. You're nothing, you're nobody. They don't even care. But actually, this is all a lie. It's all a lie. And I have to come out and say this so that you can be aware of it. It's all an illusion. None of this is even real. And it's very important for you to be aware of that, because it is nothing more than just a fantasy. And it's a shared fantasy, not only between the narcissist and this new person, but it's also being shared with you. Because just as they love bombed you in the beginning, and as I said, they may have been sharing this with their ex, what they're also doing is they are, when they're moving on and they're love bombing this new person, they are also using this to hurt you. And yes, you may not realize that, you may not be aware of it. You may think that, no, they've just moved on, they're not thinking about me, they're just having a good time. No. Even narcissists, yes, they look like completely cold-hearted people who could just forget about you and move on, but actually that is not the case. That is not the case at all. They never fully attach to their victims or targets. They never fully do that. which means that they never fully detach. Yes, it may look like they're riding off into the sunset, but in reality, they are riding off into the depths of hell. That's where they're going. And if you could be a fly in the wall, if you could see what is going on behind the scenes, you would be laughing at them. Although I know many of you probably don't enjoy having a good time at someone else's expense. Instead, you want to connect, you want to build. And I understand that, I'm about that as well. But these types of people do not do that. They don't even care about that. It's not even important to them, although it looks like it is. It really looks like that's the only thing that matters to them. But they are actually the ones who don't care at all. And that is the truth. People like us, we desire to build, connect, build relationships, families, everything for other people. But they're not looking to do that. They just want to come in and take and then run off. And of course, that's exactly what they did to you. That's exactly what they did to you. They just came in, manipulated you, love bombed you, took what you got, and then they moved on with someone else and probably took what you got and shared it with them to help to build this fantasy. But I understand. When you see this stuff on social media, I can only imagine that it must hurt. I mean, I haven't really connected with anyone on a deeper level like that for quite a long time. So, but looking back, yes, I remember when this happened to me, when I was in long-term relationships, 4 years long. Yes, that was very painful for me. And I look back, I can't really feel the pain as I did back then. I have, of course, moved on after all that time. But yes, I do remember that it was painful back then. It did affect me. And yeah, it was really hard for me because I thought I met this person, the love of my life, my soulmate, this person that I wanted to be with forever. And yeah, I enjoy that, like the romance and stuff. We used to hold hands and go to the beach. Sometimes we would go to restaurants, eat food together. We would do all of these things. And I used to really enjoy those experiences. And I thought, this is it. I can be with this person for the rest of my life. We're going to get married, we're going to have kids. And then one day, she changed. She just became a completely different person. And for some reason, I just assumed that she was giving me a different character, as though it wasn't who she really was. And in fact, she was sharing this real character with another person. That's what it led me to believe. But no, the reality is, that is exactly who they are all along. When you see that mask come off, that is the real them. that is the real them. And you may think, how is that possible that they can hide themselves for such a long time? Sometimes for several years. But if you look back, you would realize that you were just wrapped up in the illusion. You were just wrapped up in the illusion. And you did see the other side of them, but you overlooked it, because as empaths, we do tend to overlook the red flags. Because yes, we do want love. We do want connection. That is what we want. And they give you the illusion of that, and you don't tend to see them every day, maybe a few times a week. And then unknowingly to you, they are taking out all of their emotional baggage onto someone else. And you may not even be aware of that. And in fact, that is what they're doing when they're love bombing the new supply. What they're doing is they're coming back to you, they're hoovering you. They are messaging you, maybe they're calling you on the phone, and they're abusing you. They're putting you down, they're saying all of these things about you. Because they've got to vent somewhere. They've got to let off some steam somehow. And that is how they do it. Because maybe it's not possible for them to do it around the new supply just yet. Or maybe they are doing it, but there's only so much that the new supply can take. So they have to have someone outside of the relationship. Someone else who they can abuse and put down, and that's why they still keep you holding on. They keep you there like a toy on the shelf for when they're ready to play with you. But I say play with you, it's just not really any fun. But it's their idea of play. And you're like their little plaything, their little toy. Yeah, they get off on playing with you. They have a good time doing that. It brings them pleasure at your expense, of course. But yeah, this is just what they do. This is just what they do. And I know a lot of you, you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about, you've been through it. And it's not a fun experience. I mean, it seems like it is in the beginning. I've been there many times. When they love bomb you, it's like, I finally met the one. I finally met my soulmate. This person who loves me. This person who's going to be there for me. And then one day, maybe you just start to catch on, you start to question them. Maybe you start wanting to spend more time with them. And it's like they just can't do it. And instead what they do is they turn around on you. Now they're pointing the finger at you, they're blaming you for everything. They're devaluing you, they're putting you down. They're doing all of these things to you. And it just leaves you in a state of confusion. Where you're thinking, what is going on here? I thought we wanted the same things. I thought you were about love, connection, intimacy. I thought you wanted to love me, be with me. It's how we're thinking. But no, they are not thinking like that. They were only manipulating you, deceiving you, selling you a dream, showing you whatever they thought you wanted to see. And yeah, It's sad when people do this. They just can't be direct, they can't be upfront. But then you have to stop and think, why? Why can't they be direct, upfront, and honest? And of course, the reason why is because they already know that if they did that, you would never accept them. Because they already know what you want. Yes, they are fully aware of that. When they first target you, they are studying you to see what you're about, how your mind works, what are your interests, your ideals, what do you want. Yeah, they are studying you to find that out. And they know they're never going to be about that because they know they can't experience that. So all they can do is lead you into this world that they have created inside their heads where maybe they are actually about that. And this is the illusion. And they give you this character as though they are actually about that for real. But the reality is that they were never about that. They were never about that at all. All that they are about is manipulation, lying, and deception. That's all that they are really about. And you can wish and hope as much as you like that they will be about something else, but they won't. But remember, we are talking about narcissists here, people with NPD. And these types of people, it's not just you, they're not going to be about that with anyone. I don't care what it looks like. It may look like they've moved on and they've found someone else. I don't care how beautiful they are, how successful they are. It doesn't mean anything. They're still going to experience the same results. But this is how they're thinking. They're thinking, oh, if I find someone more attractive or someone with more money, then maybe it will work out for me. But then you've got to think, why didn't it work out with you? Because there was nothing wrong with you in the beginning. Why did they target you? Why did they want to be around you? Of course, that doesn't make any sense. Unless they didn't have any other choices and it was just you. But even then, they still decided to be with you. They could have been alone. But then, as we know, narcissists, they are very desperate. They will take whatever they can find. But most often, they got lucky with you. They were lucky to have you. They were lucky to find you. And that is why they spent so much time around you. That is why they wanted to hurt you. Because that's the thing. If you aren't anything special, why would they want to hurt you? No one ever wants to hurt anyone for something they don't have. No one ever wants to hurt anyone for that. They want to hurt you for what you do have. Because they are envious and jealous. And then when they move on, they become very competitive with this new person. They're constantly portraying them back to you as though they found something better than you. And they're doing that because they see it as a competition. In their minds, everything is either black or white. It's either all good or all bad. And you're either all right or all wrong. And yeah, that's exactly how they think. And they can't see things any other way. And just imagine how that must be for them, if that's the only way that they can look at things. So of course they have to run people through these cycles just so they can feel alive, just so they can feel better about themselves. They have to love bomb you, devalue, discard you, because that's really the only thing that they can do. Maybe if it was possible for them, if they had the option, yes, they might actually try to establish something for real. But that is not even an option for a narcissist. They get bored very easily. They're always looking for a new thrill. They are adrenaline junkies. So one person could never be enough for them. They will always be entertaining other prospects. I'm just going to put this in the bin. But yes, they will always be entertaining other prospects. That's just what they do. They're never going to feel complete with just one person. Even when it seems like they only have you, they have all of these other people as well that you don't even know about. Trust me, these narcissists, everywhere they go, there's always someone. Every shop they go to, every restaurant, whenever they're away from you, there's always someone they've got there, some kind of supply. And they set these situations up like that so that they don't even need anyone. Because they've always got someone there that they've already manipulated, and they don't even have to flirt with them anymore. It's like, yes, I've already got you. I already know you're mine. You're not going anywhere. So they've already got unlimited supply, and they don't even need to talk to anyone because they are masters of manipulation. So they're always observing people's facial expressions, tone of voice, body language, because these things give them supply. Narcissists can be very intimidating, so yes, they have to resort to this way of thinking. So yeah, even though it looks like they're exclusive with this new supply, they always have a bunch of other supplies as well. Even if it's not someone they're dating, it could just be someone at the shop, someone at a restaurant. It could be anyone. But yeah, they do have a bunch of other supplies. They've got all of these people. Primary supplies, secondary supplies, tertiary supplies, and everything else. So even when they're hoovering you, they're coming back to you. You might want to think that, yes, you're special, you're important now. No, that doesn't mean that at all. It just means maybe they're bored, or they could be messaging a bunch of other supplies at the same time while they're entertaining you. You're never gonna be anything special to them. You're never gonna be anything important. You're just never gonna be that for a narcissist. Yes, it may seem that way because it's the way that they set it up, but it's like, in reality, you are just an object. You're just a toy. It's an illusion of significance, and I know many of us, we want to believe in the fantasy. We want to believe that maybe this could be something real, but it can never be anything real. It can never be anything more than that. As I've said before, that is the best that you will ever get from the narcissist. It's not going to get any better than that for you. And the sooner that you accept that, the easier it will be for you to break away. And I know for a lot of you, that may be the last thing that you want to do. You may just want to hold on for dear life, just hoping, wishing that this person would change. But if you're watching this right now, it is time for you to give up. It is time for you to wake up
and realize that no, that is never going to happen. You're never going to get the result that you want. It doesn't matter what you do or how much you do. They can't be vulnerable. And I know sometimes it may look like they're coming back, and it looks like they're trying to be vulnerable with you. I've seen it before myself. They come back with the fake apologies, the false epiphanies, all of these things. Sometimes they're on their knees, they're begging you, they're crying, everything. They're still full of shit. It's all a lie. They're just showing you whatever they think you want to see. They're not really about that for real. It's just an act of manipulation. That's all that it is. And I know you may wish that it was something more or something else, but that's all it's ever going to be. But many of you stay locked in this fantasy. You're hoping and dreaming, just wishing, yes, please come back to me. Please be who I want you to be. But they are never going to be that for you or anyone else. They are never going to be that. They are never going to fulfill your dreams. No matter how much you may wish that they could or would. And you see them on social media posting these stupid pictures, acting like they're actually about something for real. And you believe in this illusion. You think that, yes, they found something better. They found something real. No, they haven't. They haven't found anything. And they will never find anything, because they have nothing of value to bring to a relationship. They can't generate their value from within. They get it by taking from other people, which is why you will notice that after you were with them, how did you feel after they were gone? How did you feel? Did you feel better about yourself? Did you feel strong, more confident? No, you didn't feel that way at all. You felt like garbage. You felt like someone had just put you through the ringer. Someone had just disappointed you, let you down. Because that is all that they can do. They can't do anything else other than that. And yes, you may wish that they could. You may wish that they could give you what you want. But you are never going to get that from a narcissist. The best that you will ever get from them is an illusion. And yeah, it looks pretty good in the beginning, but they cannot sustain it over a long period of time. What keeps you around, what keeps you holding on, is just this fantasy, this illusion, where you're wishing that they could change. And what you're actually doing is you're projecting this image you have of yourself onto the narcissist. Because of course, yes, we recognize in ourselves that we are good people and we want better things in life. We want to have a relationship, we want to get married, have children, we want to do all of these things. And sometimes we project that onto the narcissist and then we think they're about that. But they're not. We are not the same. They are not like us. Yes, we may wish that they were, but that is never going to be the case. It is never going to be like that for you with them. It can be like that for you with someone else, but not with them. These types of people are too far gone to be able to receive your projection of what you want and what you want them to be. They are too far gone for that. They've already been through it so many times, and they've never, the key word here is taken accountability. They've never done that. Instead, they've just got a bunch of skeletons in their closet, and they just move on from one situation to the next. They've never given themselves the validation or closure that they need. Instead, they bring the trauma from one relationship to the next, expecting the other person to fix them or save them. That is never going to happen. I can tell you that right now. That is never going to be a reality. That is something that will never manifest, because they just don't have the tools. And you can wish that they could be about that for real, but they can't. They can't be about that. And yet you do fall for this illusion sometimes, I know, because they make it look so real. They put these pictures up on social media and it looks like they're having a good time without you. And yeah, sometimes you go on there, you see maybe they're walking on the beach together, maybe they're at a restaurant, they're eating food together, and you feel like you're missing out. You feel like, wow, I wish I could be a part of that. But instead, what you have to do is you need to wake up and realize that in actuality, there is nothing for you to be a part of. And what we actually need to do at the end of these relationships, when they discard you, they're expecting you to just sit alone at home on your own, crying yourself to sleep, which is what some of us might do. But instead, what you need to do is go within and develop this relationship with yourself. And in fact, that is the last thing they're expecting you to do, because they do project a lot of their own dysfunction onto you. Yes, in fact, it is. They are the ones who are very dysfunctional, as you've already witnessed so many times in their behavior. And it is a very clear pattern of behavior. It is not a coincidence. And there are many reasons for that, but yes, so the last thing they're expecting you to do is to develop this relationship with yourself. And in fact, that is the last thing that they want you to do, because they want you to be longing and yearning for them. They want you to wish that they would come back, so that when they're bored, they're tired of the new supply, they could just come back whenever they want to. And then they've got you there and you're waiting for them. So what you need to do is develop this relationship with yourself, because that is the only way that they can pull you back in and really get a hold of you, is by taking you away from yourself. And if you look at it, that is exactly what they did in the beginning. When they manipulated you, they deceived you, they sold you a dream, they pulled you into something that you were never about. You were never about that. You always wanted something better, something more. You had high standards, high expectations, and they took that away from you by leading you into something that you were never about. And yes, you do need to recognize that. You do need to be aware of that, because sometimes you just get lost. You become very confused where you don't know how you ended up at this certain place. You don't know what led you there. And I can tell you right now that you were strung along into a place where you were never meant to be, because you never made the conscious choice and decision to end up like that. You never made the conscious choice or decision to do that. But yes, you do need to recognize it. You do need to be aware of it. What caused you to end up there in the first place? Because sometimes you will look back and wonder why. You will wonder, why did I accept these standards, these expectations, which are so beneath me? Why did I accept that? And of course, you need to recognize that you were strung along. It's like they dangled a carrot on a stick. And it looked like there was something that you wanted. But then in time you realize that you've just accepted a lot less than what you actually deserve. And here's the thing, whenever you accept something that is less than what you deserve, just imagine how it's going to make you feel. Yeah, it's going to make you feel like a pile of shit. It's always going to make you feel like that because it's less than what you deserve. Well, that's the problem, because when you're around a narcissist, that is literally the only thing that they can possibly do. The only thing that they can do is make you accept less than what you deserve, which means that the end result is that you will always feel like shit whenever you're around them. You will never feel like the strong, confident, powerful person that you actually are. You will never feel like that. And yet, they leave you holding on to them as a source of validation. They leave you holding on as a source of that, so that even when they leave, you are just wanting, desiring, craving for them to come back. It's like that's all you want, is for them to come back and validate you, tell you that you're okay, you're good enough. And it's like, if I get that from them, then I'll feel great, then everything will be okay. But no, actually, they've tricked you. They've tricked you to depend on them for validation, when in actuality, you just need to give that validation to yourself. Only you can give that to yourself. But you get stuck in the trauma bond sometimes, and by doing that, all that's going to happen is they'll just take even more from you, because by default, that is all that they can do. They can't do anything else other than that. All they can do is take. And then they'll make you believe, no, just hold on a minute, I'm about to give you something. And then you hold it on, they just take a little bit more, and then a little bit more. And yeah, it's like you're this puzzle, and they're just pulling the pieces away, and now you're unfinished. It's like, by the end of it, you don't even know who you are anymore. You lose the core of yourself, because you're around someone who has no identity of their own, no sense of self of their own. So all they can do is pull the pieces out from you, use these is to build their own identity. If you see how, that's all that they can do. And then when that happens, the best thing that can happen to you, yes, it is a blessing in disguise, for you to just be left alone. Because when that happens, you can then put the pieces back together. And you may not have the original pieces, but you can find new ones. And you got to think, would you really want to go back to how you were before anyway? because that's what got you tricked. That's what got you stuck with an abuser, someone who only intended to harm you. So when you look at it, it's actually quite good for you in a way, because the pieces that they're taken away from you, the pieces that they're able to take away, are actually the very pieces you don't even need. Because if they were that important, they wouldn't be able to take them away from you. So they're taking the parts of you that you just need to disown and let them go. So when you look at it, all they can really do is just take the garbage. They can't really take anything valuable from you. And yeah, for them, all they can really do is take these pieces away and use them to build their own identity. But for you, you have the power to create new pieces from within, to construct a stronger version of yourself. Yes, you have the power to do that. And when you do that, you will be much stronger the next time around. When they do try to come back, what you really need to do is you need to strengthen that sense of self. And it comes from confidence, from believing in yourself, from believing you can be better, from believing that there is so much more to you than what they led you to believe. Because all the narcissist can really do is make you feel like you're less than who you actually are. Because that's exactly how they feel about themselves. So they can't have you up here if they're down here. If they're down here, they've got to bring you down gradually. And they do that, of course, as I said, by love bombing you, manipulating you. And then gradually then they start to devalue you once they realize that you are up here, they're down here, and they can never be you. Once they realize that, it's game over. And there is no going back after that. But yes, you just have to remember that it is all an illusion, what they're doing. It is fake. I don't know, sometimes you may wish that it was actually something real. Maybe that would be a good start. But then at the same time, you look at it like, how can you just move on and do that with them and not with me? You may look at it like that, because they had all of these opportunities with you to build something for real, and yet they just devalued it. They degraded you. They humiliated you, and then they discarded you like a piece of trash. And you may look at it like, why were they even around you in the first place? If you were so bad, if all of these things were wrong with you, then why would they come around you just to do that? I mean, it doesn't really make any sense, because the way I look at it, if someone's that bad, I wouldn't want to be around them in the first place. So that is how you should know that the whole point, it is just to hurt you. That is the whole point of it. There's no other meaning to it other than that. It's just to wind you up, to make you feel like, yes, I know you invested all of your time, all of your energy, all of your money, resources into this, into trying to make this work. But in the end, no, despite all of that, you're still garbage, and I'm still moving on to something else. Something that is way better than you, and something that you will never get to experience. Yes, that's what they want you to think, but the reality is that it is just an illusion. It's just a fantasy, and it's following on from what they had with you. So don't buy into it. The power is in your belief, whether or not you choose to believe it, whether or not you choose to believe that it is real. And I'm telling you right now, with all of my experience, I have been doing this pretty much every day for almost 5 years. I've coached hundreds of clients, I've done tons of research. So it's safe to say that I know what I'm talking about. I know what I've seen with my own eyes. I know what I've heard with my own ears. So yes, you can definitely trust my opinion on this. Although it's not just an opinion, by this point it is a fact. This is factual information that yes, when they move on, no matter how it looks, they are moving on to something a lot worse. Some cool skyscrapers here. Just been walking around, enjoying this park. Gonna get back in the car now and get something to eat. But yes, just try not to let it get to you. And it's very easy to do that once you just step back to yourself, you regain your own consciousness following the manipulation, and you recognize the stages. All they can really do is love bomb, devalue, discard, hoover. There is nothing outside of that. That's all that they can do. It's going to be one of those four things. And all it's ever going to be is manipulation. It's never going to be anything else. You may wish that it was something else, that it was something more, but it's really not. All they can do is train you, groom you. I mean, you have to remember that they are predators and you are their prey. They seeked you out as their target, their victim, and made you believe that they were about something, that they actually cared, that they were empathetic just like you. And maybe they cared about other people, they donate to charity. I've heard all of this stuff myself so many times. I can't tell you how many times I've seen it where people pretend like they care about other people. Be with narcissists, they could instantly tell what person I am. From the very beginning, they already knew that I am a caring, kind, empathetic person. And no one can take that away from me. I know what I am from my own thoughts and actions. And I've had narcissists who came to me and they told me, oh yes, I always donate to the homeless. And then there was another who, we were in a restaurant and a blind person walked in with a stick, and it was so obvious the way she was just looking at me, staring at me, the girl that I was with, and then she would just look over at the blind person with the stick and then have this sad look on her face as though she actually cared. And she didn't just do it once, she did it several times, which made it so obvious. And then there was another narcissist who, all the time she had to give money to the children on the streets and feed the dogs and the cats, which were stray. But of course, she was always using my money to do that. She never did it with any money of her own. So all of these people just try to portray this image to me as though they actually care. But of course, by the end of it, I found out, no, they don't care at all. They really don't. But as we know, by the end of it, they act like, no, we do care, we just don't care about you. That's what they want you to think. And just look back at all the manipulations, it will reveal to you that no, they actually never care about anyone but themselves. They never do. Everything they do, it's self-motivated, which is why it never goes right. It never works out well for them. Because if you want something to work well for yourself and for the other person, then you have to care, you have to have empathy. But as we know, they don't have any empathy. That's why all they can do is just come around you to take from you. And that's all they're ever going to do, is just take, take, take. But no matter how much they take, they will never be full, because they have this void inside of themselves. It's a void that can never be filled. They can never be satisfied. They can never be happy. And you should already know, because why would a person need to take your happiness away from you in the first place? Whenever you feel good, whenever you feel happy about yourself, you just want to share it with someone else. You have no desire to take anything away from someone else. So this is how you automatically know that, yes, they are very miserable, dissatisfied people. They really are, and that will never change. They will be like that their entire lives, and there's nothing they can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing anyone can do about it. They're always going to be like that for the rest of their lives. All they're going to do is come around people just to take. But once they've sunk their teeth into you and they think that you're as good as it gets, then they'll never leave you alone. It may look like they're moving on to something else, but they'll always come back. They'll never completely leave you alone for real. And yes, they already know exactly what they are. They know what they're doing. They know that they get tired, they get bored, they need new supply. They need something fresh and new all the time. They are aware of that, and I don't know if they really want to change it, because they do like how it works. It's like this game for them where they go out, they seek things from other people, and then they get it, and then it releases the dopamine in their brains. It makes them feel good for a moment. So they kind of enjoy that. And yeah, it's just a game for them, because they get bored so easily. They're always looking for constant entertainment. So they're always just looking for this hit, this thrill, this sense of rewards, accomplishment, as though they're doing something. Even though it may not be something good, it's still incentivized because it makes them feel something. And it's really the only way that they can feel anything, especially once you've seen through the illusion. Then all they can do is just put you down, make you feel small, because that's exactly how they feel. They feel completely worthless inside. So by default, that's all that they can make you feel. They can't make you feel something that they don't feel. Maybe sometimes they can in the moment, but it never lasts. It's like, from an orange, you can only get orange juice. You can't get anything else. So that's all you're going to get from them. You can't get blood from a stone. And yet many of us, because they love bomb us, they manipulate us, we're hoping to see something else, something more, something different. But no, that's really all it is. And all they're really going to do is just run you through the cycle again and again. Love bomb, devaluation, discard, Hoover. And that's all that it's ever going to be. And yes, they know that it's not real, but they don't really care because they can't experience something real anyway. So they will settle for that. They will settle for just watching you go through the cycles, because that's the closest that it gets to real for them. It's to watch you experiencing it, to watch you experiencing something that they can't, because they already know it's never going to be real for them, because they already know their nature, they know what they're like. They know that they are dishonest. They know that they are deceptive and manipulative. And for someone like that, it can never be real. If you want to have a genuine, real experience, you have to approach it honestly and with a pure heart. Something that they will never be able to do. And I think in some ways they will be very envious and jealous of you for that, because they can see what it does for you. When you think that it's real, when you think that you're having this real experience with them, yes, they can see it on your face that you are enjoying it, and they know that they will never get to have that. They know that it will never be real for them. And yes, they do know that you are a very kind, giving, caring person who only desires good things. You want relationships, you want love, happiness, joy. You want to share something with someone. You want marriage, children, future, all of these things. They do know that, even though they do try to devalue you. And when they discard you, they play the victim and act like you manipulated them. But no, they know exactly who you are and what you're about. I mean, just look at it. It's completely obvious that they know that. That's why after they discard you, they portray this image of a relationship and happiness with this new person. That's why they do that. They do it because they know that's exactly what you wanted all along. Which is kind of funny when you think about it, because the very things that they use to hurt you and to manipulate you, it should just reveal to you that yes, they do already know that you're a good person and that you want good things. It should reveal to you that the devaluation and the discard is completely fake. So yes, even the love bombing is fake too. But you can experience something real. You do have the power to do that. And I want all of you to know that you can move on. You can heal by realizing and accepting that it was fake. Because once you do that, it will be easier for you to let go and to move on. And then you can find someone who is actually about it for real. Someone who does really want the same things that you want. And despite what they may have led you to believe, you do actually deserve that. Of course you do, after all of the pain and suffering you went through. I know you went through a lot with them, and you didn't deserve to go through that. You deserve to have something real. You deserve to experience real love, real intimacy, a real emotional connection. And I know that you can have that. You can't have that with them. They will never be able to experience that. But you can move on and have that with someone else. We all can. We can find someone who will love and appreciate us for real. Not just someone who's just coming around. Oh, they see a little victim, a little prey. Someone who they can love bomb mentally rape, mentally stick their dick in your ass, and then walk away, and then do the same thing to someone else. You can find better than that. Someone who's just coming around you with the sole intention is just to destroy you. But recognizing that is very important, because I can tell you that anyone, especially someone who consistently seeks to destroy someone, and not only that, but someone who knows everything that you've been through, because they asked you about it, they studied you, you confided in them, so they know everything you've gone through, and they want to put you through that exact same thing again. Do you really think someone like that is going to move on to something good? There is just no way. I mean, I could understand if they didn't mean to, if it wasn't intentional behavior. I mean, of course, in my past, I have done some things wrong myself, but I wasn't completely conscious about it. It was only really the last few years that I started to wake up. But for these narcissists, no, they know exactly what they are doing. They are fully aware of it. And I can tell you that someone who goes out with the intention of harming other people, with the intention of taking away their happiness and contentment, especially after knowing what they've been through, someone like that will never find happiness. If they could do that, they would have just found it within themselves already, instead of coming around you to do that. So this is how you already know. Whatever they're looking for, they will never find it. They will never have that. And I guess in the end, that is why they're so mad, so controlling, so jealous, so trying to come back and destroy you. Because they don't want you to be good for anyone else after they're gone. They don't want you to go out and do that, to have something that they can't have, something that they'll never get to experience. And yes, they do already know that. That's why they're so hell-bent on destroying you. Because they know that you can move on and find something good for real. And you will. If you continue watching my videos, you continue listening to this information, it will tune you into the right frequency to where you need to go. Instead of being misled by narcissists who just want to destroy you and tear you down. They don't have pure intent. But I do, and I do want the best for you. Yes, I want you to have a future with someone. I want you to develop a relationship for real. Real love, real intimacy. I want you to have that. What I don't want is for you to be tricked again. I don't want you to have all of these things taken away from you, because that is not fair, and I know that you deserve more. And these narcissists, all they're going to do is run around doing the same thing again and again, expecting a different result, which, as Albert Einstein said, that is the definition of insanity. But that's the only thing that they can experience. It's just greater depths of their insanity. That's the only thing that they will ever get. And they will never find their way out of the rabbit hole. They will get stuck and lost in there forever. There is no way out of that for them. Because they have this urge, there's something that compels them to keep going deeper and deeper into it. And the deeper they get, the harder it is for them to find their way back out of it. But you were always very resistant to it. You never wanted to sink deep into it. You were always trying to find your way out. You were always trying to learn more, because you desired something else. So this is a problem for them. And of course it does completely affect them being able to build new relationships, to experience intimacy with other people. No, they will never get to experience that. If they could have experienced that, you would have seen it already. They would have experienced that with you. But no, you just got an illusion, a fantasy. It wasn't coming from within. It's just something they use to hurt other people. And as soon as someone does that, you already know they're never going to have that for real themselves. But you will be the one who has that. I just love getting on here and sharing this information, knowing that it is helping people, knowing that it is bringing people to a better place, because I already know that I will meet you there. Together, we will move on. We will find happier and healthier relationships. We will find good people who love us and care about us. People who accept us as we are after we've done the work. Yes, we will find people who do that, and we will do that for them as well. And I know that it will be an incredible experience when we do have that. And we will have that for real. I want all of you to experience that. One day we will experience it together. But yes, I think that's good enough for this video. I think that's enough to help you to understand, just by recognizing that yes, it is all fake, it is an illusion. You can't just go back and forth like that. You can't just be one person and then another person the next. It's always an illusion. So don't fall for it. Recognize that it isn't real, and then it will be easier for you to move on, which is what I want for you. It's what I want for all of you. So thank you all for joining me. Give this video a thumbs up down below if you enjoyed it, if it resonated with you, if it helped you. And let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I read the comments every morning. Share the video, subscribe. If you'd like to book a one-on-one with me, you can do that on my website. It is narcsurvivor.co.uk. And check out my Instagram, Narc Survivor YouTube and Instagram. I have new pictures and videos of my travels every day on there. So yes, Narc Survivor YouTube on Instagram. I'll see you on there. And until my next video, you all have a great day. I will talk to you in my next one very soon.